I got Jason Blum and Mark Duplass.
Hello, Ann Thompson.
It's South by. And you debuted a movie last night, Creep, which creeped me out. I know everybody says the same thing. But it's actually sort of a daredevil thing you did.
Tell us. Do tell.
I want to hear it. You're going in the right place.
Because if you do this kind of intimate point-and-shoot thing with two people, you are stuck. That's it. That's all you got. So explain.
But you can keep getting more. You
yes.
can go back and back and back.
So I heard. So Mark, you start. Tell us a little bit, quick, the version of how you shot.
I'm very close friends with Patrick Bryce, the filmmaker, and we're obsessed with weird people. And we're obsessed with people who sit too close together and have no personal space boundaries and stare you in the eye and make you feel uncomfortable. And we find them funny and weird and sometimes terrifying. And so we thought, wow, let's explore this Craigslist adventure that really goes down the wormhole. And we started shooting this film, and as a traditional filmmaker would script the whole film, plan it out, and shoot it, we made an outline, went and shot for a few weeks, threw it together, put it in front of an audience, and then started letting them tell us what to do. And at a certain point, the audiences and the film itself was begging us to go down a very dark and disturbing road. We thought it was going to be more of a personal interrelationship movie at first, but it just got intensely creepy. And Jason and I know each other a bit socially, and we've been wanting to work together. So I was like, I know the last thing he wants to see right now is another fucking found footage movie because he's done. But I'm going to show him this thing and see if he can help us go the rest of the way towards the bottom of that wormhole, which he knows better than we do.
Well, Jason and I go back to Paranormal Activity, which was one of the most innovative movies. I mean, it really did sort of set the paradigm for what on-demand booking could be. It, big studio Paramount was sort of dragged into this new world. Yeah. But you have taken that and learned a great deal about how to make these thrillers work. What did you do with this?
Well, a similar thing. I got involved in both movies at the same time. So Paranormal, Oren had, made this amazing object on his own, and then I looked at a rough cut of it, and it was the same with this. These guys made the movie. I didn't know what was happening, and then I looked at it, and I had one big thing that when I first saw it, it was kind of straddling genres a little bit, and I just thought, I thought two things about it. The first thing I thought is, I get pitched every found footage movie in the world. I always tell people to make a good found footage movie is actually a lot harder than to make a good traditionally shot movie. Yeah. But one of the things that was so compelling about this is you can't make the standard version of this movie. Like it's so, the concept is so inherently organic to found footage, which is at this point, very rare. So I thought that was very compelling. So I did, when I heard found footage before I saw it, I definitely groaned. But then once I saw it, I was like, this actually made sense to be found footage.
But the fact that it's Mark Duplass makes a difference.
Well, anything would be good.
We all knew it was going to be awesome.
We knew it was going to be great. But then when I saw it, the other thing was there was more. There was Mark Duplass's part of his brand is like genre bending, and I was, for better or for worse, very encouraging to like move it to the darker, scarier as opposed to funny.
But you must have seen that already. To go to him,
Absolutely.
you already figured that out.
This was the goal. Jason and I are very candid with each other. We're both very interested in trying to break models, trying to do new things. We get off on this in the business. Like there's this little 12-year-old Beavis and Butthead in each of us that's like, break it. And so we jive on that. And so when I came to him, it was very specifically, not only will you come do this with us, but will you help take us the rest of the way? Because it's not only Jason, he's got this stable of people that are so smart. And so when we bring in a cut and we shoot a scene, we can say, you know what, the guy who did Paranormal 3, he was so good at this moment, let's get his eyes on it. He comes in, he tweaks this cut, and it's just like, boom, there it is. So the movie really gelled when we all got together and said, let's just basically celebrate the fact that we have Duplass brand, for lack of a better word, which is like sensitive, relationship-oriented, personal interactions inside of the horror genre. And that's a super weird thing, but if you watch the film, I think it really is it reflects that.
But you've been there before with Baghead.
I think Baghead is very different.
How do you describe the
Okay,
difference?
so Baghead, without spoiling too much for those who haven't seen it, if you haven't seen it, shut up, close your face. But right now,
See it.
Baghead is a movie basically where you have
A group
very
of people
very
in a
normal
cabin.
people who there's nothing deeply wrong with these people. They are basically having one desire, which is to become famous, and they do a couple of funny things to each other that happens to go bad. In my opinion, the two protagonists of the film Creep are deeply disturbed people. There's something deeply wrong with them, and part of the joy is discovering how that
And
comes
you think
out.
one of them is more normal than the other?
I think the part of the joy of this film is who is the creep and how creepy is this going to get. these are your questions, and I like constantly towing that line.
You also like getting involved, you both do, with young filmmakers and giving them, you don't seem to be afraid of that opportunity to just jump into the deep pool.
Oh, we have huge egos, and we think we have lots to offer.
That's
have
right.
lots to
I think
offer.
you're telling the
We
truth.
love to mentor.
Come here, young
Yes,
child.
come get our brilliance.
Come. We're just gonna wash it over.
Yeah, we're gonna shake some pixie dust.
But I mean, you do
but
have a
there's
point.
risk
No, it's,
involved, I'm
it's- look,
suggesting.
there's risk,
but you could have dumped it. You could have thrown it out.
in my opinion, the benefit of having an eager, first-time filmmaker who is so excited, who will give you the world. Jason and I are very, very busy. We do lots of projects. Everybody's always like, how do you do what you do? Well, the truth of the matter is we come in and out of these projects. We mentor them at certain times, come in, and then we let these young, aggressive, hungry filmmakers do a lot of the bulk of that work. And so it's not just a totally altruistic, let's help these guys out. Like, they're hungry and they work their asses off for us.
Got
and
it.
so
That's
you find
the new
someone,
model,
you find
actually.
someone who's smart, you
Yeah.
find someone who's willing, and quite frankly, nice, and that you want to see win. I'm all about that.
But he was able to hold his own with you as an actor.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, he did okay.
And he's one of my closest friends too.
Yeah, yeah. So where was the sort of, what's the distribution going to be? What's this? I saw Josh Brown was selling this.
Josh is selling it.
There
so
were some
that's a worry.
Magnolia
that's
radius
our
types in
primary,
there.
Primary
We
focus.
are literally in the middle of it right now, and you'll probably know more within a few days. But Josh Braun is lurking in the shadows on 3 cell phones at the moment, and we're literally behind right now. We don't know what's happening.
So are you thinking about some kind of innovative distribution plan? I mean, what is your attitude about that whole world right now? What can happen?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of two minds of this thing. We've talked a lot about whether this movie should be a wide-release movie or whether this movie should be something that can be discovered and crept on. We both definitely felt early on that the last thing we want this movie to be is a 3,000 screen movie that has to eradicate all of the idiosyncrasies of it and the marketing of it and tell people, you're coming to see a straight genre movie, and get them disappointed. We want to send the message that, like, no. Very clearly, this is the Duplass brothers and Jason Blum making a horror movie. This is a strange hybrid of crazy laughs and screams in the movie theater. I mean, you were in there last night. I watched the audience.
Some people were. I heard what you said afterwards. I was laughing and creeped out and
There was a
laughing and
married-
creeped out. I was
yeah.
on the more laughing side.
There was a married couple next to each other sitting 2 rows up from me, and I watched certain moments play on them, and in particular, one moment, she screamed and he laughed at the exact same time. And they looked at each other like, we're going to have to get divorced. But the fact that we just experienced that, and that to me is the essence of this film,
It is a hybrid movie.
It's an odd thing. So I don't want to go out on 3,000 screens and lie to people and tell them you're coming to see a straight movie. Like, if we can get that message and get the people in theaters, that's great. To me, this is a movie.
But scary movies are funny. Look at Insidious.
Yeah.
Lee, when they're, Specs and Tucker in Insidious, it's like if you took that part of the Specs and Tucker out of Insidious and out of the sequel to Insidious,
It's Amos and Andy.
It's Amos and Andy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a total comedy. I mean, they got this
Yeah.
goofy equipment. I think horror movies scary movies need comic relief.